this question is not only about polarity, it is about molecular geometry at a basic level. So they want to test your ability to reconcile molecular geometry with polarity. The question says, which of the following molecules possesses polar bonds but is non-polar? What is polarity of a molecule? A molecule is polar, or the bonds in a molecule are polar when there is a huge difference in electronegativity between two atoms that have the bond. It says, which of the following molecules possesses polar bonds, yet it's not polar. That is, it has polarity, positive and negative ends, yet these charges cancel themselves and the molecule now acquires no net charge. Now, is it A, carbon 4 oxide that has polar bonds but is non-polar? Or B, ammonia? C, water? Or is it sulfur 4 oxide? Now, pick the right answer. Type it at the comment section as we solve this the Chemist AI way. Stay tuned. The first we do is to write the structural formulae of the following molecules. First of all, carbon 4 oxide is CO2. Ammonia is NH3. Water is H2O. Sulfur 4 oxide is SO2. Now let us generate their structural formula. Carbon 4 oxide is like this. Carbon, double bonded to oxygen, and double bonded to oxygen. Ammonia is like this. Water is like this. And sulfur 4 oxide is like this. Now look at these molecules. Oxygen is more electronegative than carbon, meaning that it pulls the electron clouds closer to itself, and that makes it partially negative and makes carbon partially positive and oxygen partially negative. This shows that these bonds are polar. But because of the molecular geometry, the shape is linear. Because of this linear shape, the two dipole moments will cancel themselves, and this molecule will now acquire no net charge, and therefore it possesses a polar bond, but overall the molecule is non-polar. So the bonds are polar, but because of the shape of the molecule, the polarity cancels out, and therefore the molecule is non-polar. The shape of ammonia is trigonal pyramidal, and you can see there is a lone pair on nitrogen atom which pushes these bonds closer to themselves, and nitrogen is highly electronegative, so we give it partial negative charge and gives these guys partial positive charge. You can now see that the positive charges are almost at one end and the negative charge is at one end, unlike here where this negative charge is exactly opposite of where this negative charge is, and the polarity cancels. Water has a V shape because of two lone pairs that push these bonds closer to themselves. You can see that oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen, so we give oxygen negative and hydrogen positive. So two positive charges are almost at one end and the negative charge at the other end, and that is the polarity. Sulfur 4 oxide, here is a lone pair. Oxygen is more electronegative than sulfur, and sulfur 4 oxide is polar. All these three are polar and they have polar covalent bonds, except carbon 4 oxide, which is non-polar and yet has a polar covalent bond, and therefore our answer is A.